Hi, I'm Kirby James. And today's episode, I want to answer a question that I've been asked from time to time. And that question, which is wonderful, is how do you come up with such interesting and creative breakthrough insights and recommendations? How do you help get these businesses unstuck? Well, it's because of our approach. We do some things that are common in that there's analytics and we interview people and we evaluate. But the way we do it and the mindset we have as we do it is what makes us really quite different. So let me walk you through a general idea of what that looks like. So first and foremost, we have an interest in facts. Now, this is an interesting point in history where apparently, according to some people, there are facts and then alternate facts, which would suggest that none of them are facts. I'm not sure. First, let me tell you how we go about chasing facts. And, we live in interesting times, and there's a lot of discussion about what's a fact. For us, it's simple. Facts are reproducible forms of information that line up with reality. There are certain things that are, just not up for debate. And yet there are points in between that are up for debate. When we're looking for facts in your organization, we have a look at a variety of things to figure out what the facts are. One, of course, is going to be data. We're fascinated by data, yet we understand the truth. And that truth is data is often created by people. And even when it's created by machines, people wrote the code to tell the machines how to collect the data. And we want to know about those things because they matter. If it's time, if it's cost, if it's the way things are reported, we want to know the data, how the data is collected, and we want to know what people think about the data. Because you see, perceptions and opinions, well, they matter. And they matter a lot to us because when everyone doesn't agree, that gets our attention. But what gets our attention just as much is when everyone does agree. That's actually a little bit unusual. Give you a case example. Client of mine, we were going through actually a culture survey, and everyone in the company agreed that they had no problem bringing criticisms and critical information to the forefront. Yet when I saw the piece of data coming out of the culture survey, and I looked at the people I knew, there was something not right here. Because in certain corners, in certain hallways, you'd hear people admit that, in fact, everything isn't as rosy as it appears to be. Well, a little more digging led us to realize that, in fact, the challenge here was that this culture is too nice. It's actually a nice problem to have. It had become an obstacle, though, to their success because critical feedback, criticism, and discussing some of the things that weren't so comfortable to discuss was actually being avoided. But it wasn't being avoided because people were incapable of taking the feedback or because they had such pathological insecurity issues that they needed counseling. No. It's just the way the culture evolved because the people who founded the company are just so nice. It actually was an unintended consequence of an effort to build an extraordinary business. Well, if you wrote it off or if you jumped to a delusion about what that actually meant, you would have missed the very thing that is keeping this organization stuck. We don't do that. And the second thing we do is we bring a skill set that's actually quite uncommon. It's the translation of the words that people say in conversations or in interviews. And we translate these into what you might call a storyboard. The way film producers, directors, and writers come up with the ideas for the movies we love so much. There's a storyboard. And as each panel goes up, you get a sense of what's in between, as well as a deep understanding of what's in that particular panel. That's actually our approach. Doing it is tough. Keeping what I think about it out of the equation is extra tough. This is just what the people in your organization will tell us. When we're done, we will have lots and lots of storyboards, and we're able to look at them and compare where they line up and where they don't, and what's in between the panels, and all of that gives us immense insight, uncharacteristically deep and complex insight into your organizations, a lot of times when people have never even talked about it. That sets us up for the third phase of the process. And the third step in the process is taking all that data, taking those perceptions and those opinions, taking the facts that we believe to be true, and looking at all of these storyboards, and we find the things that have you stuck. It might be structure, it might be people, it might be process. We don't find it strategy all that often. Occasionally it could be. It may be people. Whatever it is, we'll bring it to you. And our report, like I said, is never going to be like anybody else's because your organization will always be unique. And from those unparalleled insights, we are able to give you uncommonly impactful recommendations. And when it comes to the recommendations, we have no problem telling you what you need to hear. The insights may be interesting, even shocking, and the recommendations are going to follow in lockstep with our insights. It's a disservice to you and your organization not to tell you what it's going to take to get it together. I'm Kirby James. This is the GYST method, and we really believe we can help you.